how fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run to your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency. Welcome to Motorcop Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Iceman. We'll be back with this part 2 of basically the Fireman Takeover. They still got some more stories. I hope y'all enjoyed the first one. And remember to like and subscribe, share it with your friends, write reviews, help us grow. Go check out the Etsy store. If you want to join the private group, it's called the Motorcop Club House. Clubhouse is 2 separate words on Facebook. Got to answer 3 questions. You answer them correctly, I'll let you in. It's free. Also, like I said, still thinking about starting a Patreon. If anybody has would like it or not like it, just somebody message, let me know. Like I said, I'm still up in the air about it. I'm not sure. Go check the Etsy store out if you want any merchandise, T-shirts, stuff like that. Other than that, let's kick it back off. We still got Fluffy, Colin, and Mr. Always Right, jerk off over here. So let's get it going back up. I say welcome back, even though we didn't leave. Just this part 2.
The Goon Squad's back. The Goon Squad. You still forgot to hit Colin's mic.
Oh, he's so easily forget. There you go.
Easily forgettable.
Forgettable.
Very unimpressionable.
Yeah. Oh, remember, ladies, he's single. 250 or better, 5'2", preferably. He even, after the last show, he told me he prefers women with a slight mustache. He says it just does something for him. It reminds him of some of the firemen he worked with, and he's just great.
Free mustache.
It's almost like he's describing you, Fluffy.
He knows where to come.
Right across his face.
Fuck y'all.
I think we all have already.
Hey. Yeah, I guess we go back to
we go back to the stories.
Always got a good story. You remember back in 21 and 2021.
Back in 21.
That's just like last year.
You remember last year?
That was almost 2 fucking years ago. March of 21. It's fucking August of 22.
Back in 21.
Okay.
Back in fucking 65?
I guess if I say back in 21 to the rain event, you're going to ask how many? Because how many times did fucking people flood in 21 around here?
Okay, fair enough.
All right, then. So back in March of 2021, we had a rescue recovery. I wouldn't say recovery, but a rescue of a pretty important person for, I think, was it state police or sheriff's office?
State police.
And, he called our people, and he was pretty pissed. It was I think a lieutenant colonel or a colonel, and living in our area, and he couldn't get out of the fucking neighborhood because he was flooded in.
So you had to call the real heroes.
Yeah, he had to call the real heroes to go get him out in shin deep water. But you know what? We brought the fucking cavalry. We launched the boat.
Why didn't he just walk the fuck out and catch a ride on the other side?
Ask your popo friends.
Can't get those state police boots dirty.
Hey.
Let me tell you what. During the Great Flood, what was that, 18?
16.
16?
Back in 16.
Back in 16.
My lieutenant was told to stay home because he was flooded in. This dude went through he actually swam out to get to the Humvee so he could go out and start rescuing people. This dude's wrapped his shit up in garbage bags and swam the fuck out of his neighborhood. Okay? Swam the fuck out. His feet wouldn't touch the ground to get the fuck out and do it. And you telling me some state trooper couldn't walk through knee-deep water?
I promise you there's photos of it. I don't have the photo of him sitting in I don't know if it was the boat or the Humvee. Either way, I know we launched both of them that night.
The water didn't even go halfway up the tire.
Yeah. But we have a photo of him being rescued by us, and we make sure somebody's got it. I don't know who, but somebody's got it.
God. Okay.
I believe it was that same storm.
It's horrible.
No, I'm sorry. It was the following week. Oh, no, it was next day. We had a vehicle driving down the road, and literally a freak accident. It was a Jeep. fucking tree fell in front of it and pinned the passenger and the driver. I believe it was like an hour and a half extrication. Luckily, they all made it, but their legs were super pinned.
Under the dash.
Yeah, it was a fucking probably I'd say
people
18.
don't realize they're going to go out driving around and shit during these bad weather events, and hey, trees are unforgiving when they take your vehicle. We actually at one of, I don't remember which hurricane it was, we were out working, trying to keep roads clear, and we had to cut our way out, and it was like cutting tunnels in some of these huge trees just where you can get out through and stuff like that. People don't realize it's quite scary when trees and shit are snapping and cracking and falling all around you and stuff like that. So when people are told to either leave or stay where the fuck you at, they're not saying it just to say, oh, we just don't want you going on the road. No, it's for your safety.
Oh, Drake. Oh, shit. I didn't get the name. It'd be all right.
No.
It'd be all right. They can crop it out.
No, he's fine.
We can tell some 2016 stories.
So, yeah.
Our little fucking Bato and our trolling motor.
I was out there in that shit too.
Me and Fluffy were both volunteers at the time.
Thank
for
you for
the
your service.
for the flood of 2016.
You're welcome for my
shit.
cervix.
You have a cervix? I felt it the other day. That's all right. So we were both volunteers, and we were both a couple years out of high school. I think we were actually both still in college or
Yeah,
dropped out.
I was still a freshman in college.
But
God, I'm fucking old.
Yeah, you fucking are.
I was in my 40s, I think.
But we were pretty active with the fire department, and whenever all the flooding kicked off, and the guys that worked full time at other departments got called back from our volunteer department, that left us very low on manpower. So
hey, you teenagers.
yeah, so they took two fucking teenagers and stuck them in a 10-foot bateau with a troller motor, and
y'all were fighting currents.
Oh no!
With a trolling motor?
Looking back at it, we were fucking stupid to
Yeah.
even agree to go.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even a small, like 3 or 4 horsepower gas motor. It was a
troller
troller.
motor running off of a fucking battery.
Oh no, because they sent us out. I was in a snorkeled Humvee, and we had a little batteau. We had a little gas motor on it. We got out one time, and I thought we were gonna fucking die and drown because the current was so bad. It was like kept sucking us away from where we were trying to go when you were with a trolling motor.
Right up your street. You know where that fucking canal is.
Yeah, well, that's called a creek, but
Whatever the hell.
a canal. It's like from the fucking city or something.
It doesn't matter. That fucking waterway right up the street from you. We crossed it in our fucking bateau to go get this trapped family.
Well, the water was over the bridge.
Oh, we know.
Oh, yeah, we
We
know.
fucking know.
We know.
We don't know how we made it safely first
Oh,
off.
no, that current was bad there.
Oh yeah, we fucking get there
We
to
were
this
fucking
house.
sideways. I know that much.
We were sent to this specific house, and like we get there, and
It wasn't the one off the ground.
it was
The one right
100
there?
Yes.
Yeah, that current moving through there. That water at that house probably had to be at least 10 to 12 feet deep, if not deeper.
I don't remember how fucking.
I'm telling you.
You talking about from like bottom of the
No, I'm
creek
talking-
or from the road?
No, I'm talking about from where it was over the bridge.
I don't even remember. But we were sent to this one house, and this fucking was it a family?
Keep in mind, this boat, like, we only had like 6 inches of boat out of the water with just us two, and we weighed a lot less at that time.
Yeah, we did.
And we get back there to this house, and this entire family is sitting on the front porch with both of their dogs that probably weighed 100 pounds. One of the people probably weighed 350 plus.
Oh yeah, tree
And,
fitty.
yeah, and like I said, there was 5 or 6 of them, and we showed up in this little boat with room for like a
Yeah,
toddler.
but if it's the same house, if it's that house, that water would have never gotten that
Okay,
house.
so it's not that house.
Yeah, we're probably talking about.
It was on the left hand side. It was blue. It was
Oh,
elevated.
no, this is the one, the
This is a
creek's
trailer.
right
It's a
here,
little
and
bit-
they got the ones way
Okay,
up
now
off.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit past the creek.
Yeah.
Inside.
But it was.
White with blue shutters?
Yep.
I know what y'all
Yep.
talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, they had water down now.
So
Oh, we know.
got there.
Y'all should have came from the Walker South end.
We did.
We did.
Then you shouldn't have to cross this creek.
Yeah.
Creeks that way.
Yeah, we could have come from that end.
Yeah, we did come from that end, and
You wouldn't have to cross the creek.
no,
You did.
it's past the creek. I passed it the other day, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy shit!"
Since
I'm
on this side.
Yeah.
The one y'all come from this side.
Can't get to that side.
Yeah, you could.
No, you could not.
I was going through it every day
Hey, brah.
in a snorkeled Humvee.
And
in a snorkeled Humvee. We were in a Dodge pickup truck from 1950.
All you had to do is call us. We'd have drug y'all back over there.
We should have just sent them to y'all. Anyways, nonetheless, but funny. the fact that there was 2 teenagers in a fucking bathtub with a trolling motor trying to cross this creek.
Running off of a battery. I looked at my GPS the other day. It was 1.3 miles to the highway from that house, and we're running off of a trolling motor with a battery that's barely getting us there with just us 2. And we pulled up and saw all these people and the dogs and all their luggage and stuff because they were packed up ready to go. Like, yeah, y'all are gonna have to stay.
We can't do a fucking thing for you.
Put it this way, that road that we talked about with the ground meat guy.
Yeah.
During that, me and the guy that's working with me, we went out there and with the little bathtub, and we had to go rescue some people all the way down at one of them end of the dead ends that they had off the.
Is that the one where they tried to helicopter out, or did you make that one?
No, and
did you make that one?
But we had to. The little motor wasn't working, so we just had the bathtub. We had that family, and we walked probably a good mile through chest deep of water, pulling the boat there, and then pulling them back out.
What blows my mind?
2 miles in chest deep water. And I'm just thinking, if that had been me, I would have got my family out. I would have walked them through the water myself. I'm not waiting for somebody to come rescue my ass. I'm getting the hell out.
Exactly. Like, I don't understand why people don't have that mind. Well, it's different.
Because people are stupid, that's why.
But, like, you're scared to walk in the water, but you're going to want us to go walk in the water to fucking put you in our boat.
I saw one snake. That's all I saw. One snake.
I don't know if I saw any snake. I saw a bunch of fucking ants.
No, I saw snakes.
I saw any snakes.
Well, they actually had one part. They had
Favorite animal? Snake.
They had four horses.
Fluffy knows about snakes.
Trapped off of this one road in a field that was going completely under. These horses were swimming at this point. I got some wire cutters. I'm surprised I didn't get all kind of fucking diseases and shit, because I had to go dive, like hold my breath and go under the water and start cutting this barbed wire fence so these horses could have a place to get out so they didn't drown. And I mean, this is a horse field, so there's nothing but horse shit and everything floating around me
Right.
as I'm going under the water to get these fucking horses. Oh yeah, I'm surprised I didn't end up with. I know we had some of our guys ended up having to go weeks afterwards, had to go to the hospital because they had some kind of like shit on their skin and all kind of shit from being, because we were doing about 20 hours a day, sleeping
Right.
about 4, and you were in the water, the entire time. So, oh yeah, me and my other guy, we we emptied out a whole subdivision and trying to talk some of these old people out. This one old lady didn't want to leave. She had 2 feet of water in her house. She didn't want to leave. It's like, man, you got to go.
We had the first night, like right when everything was really kicking off, and we kind of got there. Remember that rescue in the quarters that we had to go to?
Yeah.
Same fucking boat, but it was 6-8 inches deep. You could fucking walk the whole way, but you know what? Nope.
Can't get our feet wet.
They ain't want to fucking get wet, so we walked our boat back there because it was so fucking shallow, and then
They walked to the boat because
their house wasn't flooded, but they couldn't get out. They just wanted to get out, but they couldn't get out.
The road was flooded.
We had to put them on our fucking boat because they was too scared to get wet.
And then walked the boat halfway out until it finally got deep enough to.
My scariest one I did, which, because if we would have slipped with this person, we got sent out to a high water rescue. We drove the Humvee out as far as we could go. The water was over the hood of the Humvee. And we couldn't go. It was just kept getting deeper. Well, we saw somebody coming by in a boat, so we flagged them down and kind of commandeered them. It was like, hey, we need y'all to take us to this house. We could see the house, and it was back by a river. And the whole, it was a 2-story house, thank God, because the water was a good 10 to 12 feet deep. You couldn't see the bottom floor story of the house. And they had some stairs that went up to the upstairs from the outside, thank God too, but they were painted. And they didn't have the little sand grit on it. So if anybody's ever walked on painted wood without sand grit, it's like walking on ice. So we get up there, and they were like, this was a handicapped person. It was the mom, dad, and a handicap. It was, thank God it wasn't a big one. It was a woman. She probably only weighed about 90 to 100 pounds, but she was quadriplegic. Mm-hmm. So she's paralyzed from the neck down. Now we have to take her down these stairs that are wet with 12 foot of rushing water underneath us. And if we would have slipped and dropped this woman into this water, she was gone. That was probably the most. That's probably. I mean, I've been shot at before, and I wasn't this nervous before. When I was getting bullets flying around me, we got her in that boat, but I was nervous on that one because I thought, if we would have slipped just one iota, this woman was dead.
We had a same little boat. Remember we had that welfare check for the old lady?
Oh my gosh, that was disgusting.
Well, it's fucking nerve wracking too. But we got sent to this house for a welfare check.
Elderly couple, nobody had heard from. Neighbors hadn't seen them go out or anything. So, and there's 4 foot of water in the trailer that was already about 4 foot off the ground. And we nosed the boat up to what we thought was the porch, and went in, and there's probably 5 or 6 dogs, a couple cats, just on the counters and on chairs, trying to stay out of the water. So it was, as you can imagine, just disgusting. They'd been in there probably a couple of days.
Yeah, because this is on the dry, the holding water side.
Yeah, and we had to wade through that trailer, not knowing, of course, if you're going to step through the floor or not, because this trailer was old and disgusting. But sweeping around trying to see if we're about to find some poor elderly couple underwater.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty nerve wracking.
What was it, 16 we said?
Yeah.
All right. If anybody listen, I know I have a lot of listeners from up north and stuff and out of the country, not the United States. You can y'all can look it up on the internet. There's 2016 flood in Louisiana. It's got all kind of stuff on it. I mean, it was horrendous down here.
It was 75% of the parish. Was flowing off the houses.
We had that's actually when I met Sean Hannity. He came down, and I talked with him. He came down and did a thing on it too. I mean, I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere, but But no, it was tragic for, I mean, just a large portion of southern Louisiana here. And I have pictures and videos. I just, one of these days I'll share them, maybe with the Patreon stuff or something like that. I have all kind of stuff from it because it was horrendous down here. Y'all, it had so much water. I mean, you don't understand. We had an entire city out here. The entire city went underwater.
6 foot of water.
Yeah.
You had 20-foot boats running on plane down the middle of a highway.
Yeah, I mean, the entire city
covered up by water.
And then, yeah. And the thing, just fucking two freshmen, or I was a freshman in college at that time.
I was going into my junior years. No, I'd have been going into my senior year. That was when I transferred.
But
we had so many people trapped and stuff like that. I mean, it was just rescue. I mean, I can't tell you how many hundreds of people we had to just go rescue that were, some of them were, like I said, legitimately trapped in their house, and some were just scared to get their fucking feet wet.
If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think there was any fatalities.
I was about to bring it up. If I remember correctly, there was the one fatality the first night was
somebody was walking their dog.
It was an older gentleman who had Alzheimer's.
It was a medical emergency too, wasn't it?
No.
There's one guy drowned. He was walking his dog, and he got swept away.
Who had Alzheimer's. It was in the neighborhood that way, the big neighborhood. They found him miles away. Miles away, they found him. I believe the dog came back to the house.
Yeah, he got swept away in the current or something like that.
In the middle of the neighborhood.
Yeah, but people don't realize it.
It was like 3 a.m., I think, when he went out to go walk the dog and then never came back. I believe that was the only fatality involved.
The aftermath was what kind of put it into perspective. For months,
you're
seeing just piles of people's sheetrock and all their furniture, all the things that they've amassed over their entire life.
Entire subdivisions
out in their front yard, and there's these giant waste removal trucks with cranes on the back of them coming around and picking all this shit up from people's front yards, and it was like that for months.
I was lucky. Where I live, I didn't flood. But I had too many storages when I went to it. They had so much water it got in one of them. I had washer and dryer. One of them, the dryer had floated up high enough where it was like on top of the washing machine. So that's how much water was. I mean, everything I had in there was just done. So what happened with Colin?
Colin? That's pretty much whenever I decided I wanted to do this for a career.
Is it? No, because I see your list of stories and.
No, but that was probably like I wasn't on a volunteer department or anything right there, and that's pretty much what kind of put me in this career path. wanted to do more, and then we actually got about 16 inches in our house, and I think it was probably, I don't know, that was in August.
Yeah.
I'd say probably 3 or 4 months later, I put in an application for volunteer, and then that's how I met these goons, and the rest is history.
It's actually really funny if you think about it now. Colin used to work for my dad as a warehouse bitch. And never really knew. I never knew him.
I was an excellent employee.
The worst bitch you could ever have.
I never knew him.
Didn't you get fired?
I left voluntarily.
We're going into that story. That's what we're leading to. Never knew him, and I believe it took us a couple times to hanging out to realize kind of.
The only time we ever hung out was like fire department related. Like we never like hung out outside of.
Hey man, I'm working today. You can come hang out.
Yeah,
or me and Dragon's working tonight. We're gonna go hang out. And
So
you
we
know,
would go up to
fuck.
up to the station.
My bad. Your name.
We would go hang out at the stations. That was what started the whole friendship. And
So it
For the love affair began.
That's
that's
exactly.
exactly it.
Leading into the story.
You were standing out there with like a boom box on your shoulder
I
in the
Throwing
rain.
rocks at the window.
I love you, love me, let me in.
I was working part time at an outlying station here locally, and I got paged to a welfare check. It was a UPS driver who was dropping off packages at this house. Called it in, said that, hey, look, like I deliver here frequently. These packages have been on the porch all day or all week. I believe it was Thursday or Friday during the week, and cars at home, lights are on, nobody's answering the door. These packages haven't moved. So lo and behold, you know you know how the situation ends.
Yeah.
SO makes an entry and finds the old lady in the bedroom, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna call the goons. So I call Mr. Wright. He's like, oh, Colin's still new. He needs to see this. Let's call Colin and get him down here. So we call Colin. Colin leaves work. His fucking part-time job
The
for
one
my
that
dad.
actually pays me.
Yeah,
It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
leaves his job.
Clock out. I roll right on.
Just comes to this emergency of a body recovery. I don't even think he told his boss or my dad where the fuck he was going.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Hey, I started reserve. That's how I started in law enforcement. I mean, I worked at a state prison, and this guy I was friends with, we went to correction academy with. I didn't even know they had police reserves, and he told me he was doing it, and I looked into it and got in the reserve. I was putting in more time cause I work shift work. So I was putting in more than full-time hours.
That was him.
I was putting like full-time or more hours in as a reserve than when my regular job was. It's like, so I mean, when I actually got hired on, they probably lost out because I was working more for free. But that's how I started. I mean, the whole cliche is, I started doing it because I love helping people. I do like helping people. Well, I used to really like helping
Now
people.
you're just disgruntled.
Now, that happens.
That's usually how it goes.
But actually, in one of the other main reasons I wanted to be a cop or anybody, I think anybody wants to be a fireman or something like that. I like the fact that when I go to work every day, I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's a different day every day.
I mean, they got the same, I know every day when I go to work in the mornings, like during school, I'm going direct traffic in a school zone.
You know what I do know about?
But
We're actually liked by the public, though.
yeah, now y'all are.
Hey.
For right now, until y'all do
Right
something.
now.
What can we do wrong?
Oh, you can. You just exist.
Oof.
I mean, just nothing to come back with. Say, anyway, I was
get a
waiting.
thank you whenever we leave.
I was waiting.
You're going to go fuck the
You gotta go
police.
fuck you.
Well, I did. I'm waiting for the next one that says "fuck the police." I'm gonna be like, look, we can't do it here. You have to give me your number and call you later. And I hope
I
they
know
call.
where you work. I'm sure that's plenty of prime.
I hope they call and complain on me when I say that too. He was going, I told him to go fuck himself, and he told me he had to do it later. That he couldn't do it while he was working. I mean,
That's not against policy.
no. I mean, I'm like,
On duty is against
it's like,
policy.
yeah.
though.
I'm like, I can't do that while I'm working. I'm gonna say, but no thanks. The ones up the street that said wanted to fuck me looked way better than you. Look, you know what? I'm just at the point now. I don't care. But like I said, I realized I fell in love with it because I liked knowing the fact that I got to go to work every day, and I didn't.
And really piss off the public? Oh.
Well, you don't know what you're going to do every day. You might have a boring ass day. I mean, not long ago, I was pulling a guy out of a car that was with a gun, or I was arresting a guy in an attic, or I was, working a bad crash, or a fender bender. You just never know every day. I don't know if I could go to work like at a plant. Everybody's like, "Oh, you make so much, you can go to work at a plant," and I know I'm going to be doing the same exact fucking thing every single day.
How many times have I turned this valve?
Yeah.
Let's watch this gauge. Make sure your pressure's up right.
I don't think I could do that.
Even though that's what we do in our job.
No, I'm just saying.
Adrenaline junkie, I'm sure.
But,
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like y'all firemen, basically the same. You can go from 100. Y'all probably basically like us. Being a cop's probably about 90% boredom and 10% adrenaline.
Yeah, 98% boredom.
So,
See, the cool thing about our job is, whenever it's boring
Y'all
for
get chilly.
Y'all are just chilling, in your car, riding your motorcycle around town, with your little bells on it.
Yeah, I love the little
See,
bells.
we
Like
get to go
ding,
back to
ding,
the
ding.
station
It's so
and play
great.
Xbox and hang out.
Watch Boogie Nights together with a whole bunch of men.
I fucking ride a motorcycle. I get paid to ride a motorcycle.
I get paid to drive a fire
I
truck.
get paid to take naps.
You get paid to drive a fire truck. That's not even cool.
What does every kid want to be when they grow up?
A
Fireman.
motorcycle cop.
Why does
Kids
everybody
run
love
whenever
fire
cop cars
trucks?
show up.
Yeah.
They
Huh?
run to us whenever a fire truck pulls.
Because they know y'all are pussies.
Aw.
Do y'all have little hats that you can give? Y'all have a little
Those little funky ass
Y'all have the little
firemen.
stickers.
Plastic badge.
They have little sticker badges.
The
I
little,
forgot.
I wish I still had that picture. A long time ago, the person. We were working a food stamp site after a major disaster, and some firemen had given out some fire department. And I'll tell you the name when we get off of air, but he came back from the toilet and had taken a big shit in a little plastic fire department hat, and just a big nasty stinking deuce in it, and it was so those fire department hats are good for something.
PR. That's what it's good for.
For shitting it.
Sounds like something I do to Colin.
But back to the volunteering, there was a point where,
didn't
the
do
fire
anything
chief, whenever the fire chief walks in
Bruh.
and tells you, why haven't you filled out an application?
He thought you were paid already.
Yeah. He thought I was paid already.
So much time
I
up
was
there with me.
literally
or
up
us.
there every day. There wasn't a day that I wasn't.
He had no idea. He was just a volunteer spending that
thought he
much time
got
up there.
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's like, I don't even work here, dude.
I mean, let's see. Colin, you started in what, 16, 17?
17.
I started as a
So
junior,
do you,
but I don't really
you work
count
at the
those.
fire station, same fire department
So
as him?
I work at the same
Don't-
place as Fluffy.
Okay, and he works at the.
He used to.
Know-it-all works at a different
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Know-it-all works at the know-it-all department.
Yeah,
Bigger and better things, so he
Yeah.
says. Hey, but the grass is always greener.
Grass. You know where the grass is greener
It
at?
is indeed
In the
greener.
fucking rye fields.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. I'll tell you where the grass is greener at.
If you say where you water it, I'm getting up and leaving.
Nope. On the fucking septic tank where all the shit's at.
You're not wrong.
I give it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Your joke.
Yeah.
It wasn't a joke. It's not the joke. It's actually the truth. I'm not talking about a joke.
But I guess a little history about us. Colin, you said you started when?
Started late 16, early 17.
I mean, I guess we should have did this at the beginning of episode 1 to kind of get to know us, and we just went straight into stories.
I don't
but
think they care about getting to know y'all. You're firemen.
we're the Goon Squad. This is gonna have your most views, I guarantee it.
It listens. This isn't a viewable one. You have to listen to it. It's audio only.
Same difference.
No, it's different. No. Viewing is you're looking with your eyes.
I listen with my Anyways, I started as a junior. I wouldn't even count it. I think I started in 14. I was age 16, and then in 2015, I think it's whenever I actually went
Fire Academy.
No, I went volunteer in 15, and then in 17 is whenever I started paid professional, and I think
Now you're like a whole admiral now, aren't you?
yeah, lieutenant colonel.
He's
Lieutenant.
step captain.
He's a step up.
A step captain.
Step captain.
Yeah, what are you doing, step captain?
And what are you?
My
Colin.
I'm just
bitch.
a little lonely bitch.
You a bitch?
I'm a bitch.
You're not even a driver yet.
Yeah,
He's not
no,
even.
he's
He's not
no,
even
no.
confirmed.
Mr. Wright's not. He don't even know if he don't have a home.
He don't even know if he has a job tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He shows up and they just tell him where to go. He don't have
much.
a home.
Yeah, it's like you're a firefighter, then you have to go to driver.
Just depends
Some
on
departments.
Some departments.
Ideally, yes, you start in the back seat
In
as
a
a
perfect
firefighter,
world.
and then you move up to a driver.
Grass is greener, boys.
Oh, is it? Well, if you'd water wherever the fuck you were currently at.
Oh, how much fucking water did I put at both? Well, especially one place.
Maybe
Well,
if
ma-
that Mr.
you
Right
know what?
attitude
Maybe
would've
it was
Clearly not
because
enough.
maybe it was because you knew too much.
Exactly.
Clearly not enough.
The Mr.
It takes
Right
more than just
attitude
water
was
to grow.
never left at the door. It was brought into the door.
I left my
through the
fair
next
share
door.
Of shit fertilizer too. No, I started.
Left a stench.
I started in 2013 out of high school with another buddy that got me on, and then I was in college for most of that time. I'd come back like holidays, summertime stuff, and run a bunch of calls, and then 2016, end of 2016 was whenever I started volunteering consistently, like home a lot, and then end of 2017 I think is when I went part-time, then shortly thereafter I went full-time.
You graduated college?
Fuck no.
He's just a washed-up college athlete.
Pretty much.
Oh, he was a college athlete?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not even going to go down that way.
Hey, he was a catcher.
Nah, bitch. I was a pitcher.
You were a pitcher?
He
Not
looked,
built like no pitcher.
he looked like
Not
a catcher to
anymore.
me.
Certainly not no D1.
But-
that right arm will get after it.
ITI has,
yeah,
has
well.
colleges. I didn't know ITI had a
Shit.
team.
I ventured down that path for a little bit.
So that was Colin's stomping grounds. ITI.
But
I
ITI,
graduated high school and
I graduated high school with a D plus
14.
average.
went to college.
I can't believe you passed any tests.
Especially not hazmat.
We had to put this guy on suicide watch because he failed one of the easiest tests you could possibly take.
It's
multiple times.
Step one of being a firefighter is hazmat awareness. Just being aware of what a fucking hazard is, and
Yeah.
he couldn't even do that.
Hey, these are hazardous materials.
It's got a placard on
He
it that
failed
says
so much.
that says caustic.
He failed it twice, and we fucked with him so much. Like we had to.
You failed it twice.
We had a.
I thought it was 3 times.
No, twice.
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 And then
Passed it,
that's
yeah.
when he started the academy,
Yeah.
because the academy had
He
the study
didn't-
guys.
I was
thought-
actually given
thought-
study guide, so
I thought
passed it.
EMT was like one of the harder tests to take.
No,
It is.
we're talking about still
Don't even get
hazmat.
started on EMT.
Yeah, so you passed EMT.
No, let's not go down that road at EMT.
yeah, I passed EMT.
After how many
I'm
times?
an EMT twice.
Twice.
What's it?
Oh, your little greener pasture counterpart. What was it? 4 times? That's what
I
they.
never said he was fucking
That's what
smart.
they hire over at the big town.
I never said he was smart.
Hey, man.
But hey, he passed his advanced.
No. The
Yes, he
other,
did.
The other one.
The other one.
Really?
No, he did.
No.
Advanced what? Firefighter?
Cowboy or dumpster man?
Cowboy.
Yeah, cowboy passed advanced.
I didn't know he was advanced.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I would have studied the study guide they fucking had too, I would have probably
So
fucking passed it.
They had this study guide that was
Advanced
word for word.
firefighter? Yeah, you gotta realize
Advanced
I'm not.
EMT.
Yeah.
Advanced EMT.
Well, hold
I'm
on,
not
you-
privy to
go-
all the firefighters.
Go
stuff.
through the so it's EMT, and then there's now relevant the
like
A-
paramedic.
No,
It's-
EMT, emergency medical
In
technician.
I know what
between
that
EMT and
is,
paramedic.
And
but
then there's-
advanced would be paramedic.
No.
It's in between.
It's in between paramedic. And you can put.
So
you
you
can
can be
start
a
IVs.
training.
Pretty
It's
much, yeah.
yes, it's the old intermediate. It's now called advanced. I don't know, but
You can do some medications, IV, stuff like that, but you can't do the really cool shit.
Yeah, like knocking them out.
yeah, stop people's
Like,
heart.
kill them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Anyways, that's what we're saying.
So he failed this hazmat test twice, and we were fucking with him so bad, and like he kind of quit talking to us and was just really down in the shitter. We were finally like, hey, we need to take it easy on Colin for a little bit because like he may be on suicide watch. And then he started the fire academy and didn't tell the people that hired him, hey, I have one chance to take this test again and pass, or I can't take the fucker again for a year.
So you only get 3 chances.
So
You
it's
get you get as many as you want. You just gotta wait a long time between those.
your first chance. You can take it. And then if you fail it, you have I think it's 7
15.
days or 15 days.
15 days.
15 days.
The
Well, yeah.
second,
Why don't
the
we just
second attempt is immediate.
let's ask you?
Right?
You tell us.
15 days after your first attempt, and then I want to say it's 30 or 45 after your second attempt.
I thought it was 90.
I think it's
No.
90.
So how bad were you freaking out when you had to take that test? You only had that one shot.
Oh, See, there's a difference. The first 2 times it was going to a class 2 nights a week and getting I don't even know if you, I don't even know if you, yeah, I don't know if you would call it an instructor because it was.
You were getting told information.
You were getting told information and it wasn't taught to you.
Like so you were going through.
I was going through like
a volunteer school
department. Oh, yeah, okay. They offered classes that you could get your certifications in. And
let the records show that Mr. Wright passed on the first try.
Because you're Mr. Wright, you got it all.
It's the easiest test.
So yeah, I passed it. The rest is history, But yeah, I went to college for I think like
a year,
a day,
2 years, and I changed my major like 7 times.
7 times in 2 years?
Yeah, it was a lot. See, the good thing about college is
you were in those special classes.
Your first 2 years, you're going to do all of your prereqs, so it's all your generic math, history, and science, and so I never had to like do any like special classes, and so I did that for 2 years, and then I went to BRCC for plant operation, and I have a semester left on that, and I could have been in a much higher paid job. I just decided I want to be a firefighter.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No, it happens. I know guys I've seen guys leave police work, go work in the plants making $100,000 a year.
Turn around, come back.
6 months to a year later, they come back, for $50,000 a year. Or something
it happens
like
in our
that.
line too.
There's plenty of them city boys
just
have left to go pursue their own businesses or their part-time gig that was really kicking off, and then within a year, their wife said, "Get back to that place that's got the benefits, and you're home a lot more."
I had an opportunity umpteen years ago. I think I was at maybe 18 years in, close to 20, and
But were you born yet or no?
Oh, it was about 20 years ago. So I don't know. Probably you're like 4 or 5 years old.
And we're all a year apart.
So I had got an opportunity. I was offered to go. I was going to get to go off work on offshore rigs.
Yeah.
And I was going to be taught how to do the remote control submarines that go up underneath, work on pipes and shit. You make a shit ton of money doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it, and I was like, I couldn't do it. Well, I just figured I'd end up back where I was at and have to start back over with almost 20 years.
But with a lot more money in the bank.
But is money going to make you happy if you're sitting there miserable, stuck in a rig for a month at a time or something like that?
That question is more relevant now than ever before.
The further I get into my fire service career, the more I'm like,
No, you won't.
You're right. I'm much of a bitch
because
that,
the farther you get into it, the older you get, and you start moving up in rank, you'll start making more money and all that shit. Like, no,
you're not wrong. That doesn't really apply to me right now because I keep taking pay cuts and rank cuts.
No, I'm just saying when I first started being a cop, I ain't gonna lie, man. Between my child support payments and stuff like that, I didn't have money to fucking eat. I was fucking poor as shit. Now, I've been doing this almost 30 years. I ain't gonna say how much I make, but I'm not hurting. I'm not rich, but I ain't hurting. Yeah. I think I'm considered, if you look on a pay scale, probably upper middle class or something like that. So I ain't hurting.
Fuck.
So
I'm a paycheck to paycheck.
Well, that's because y'all.
3 jobs.
That's my choice though.
But once you get moved up and you'll start making more money the longer you do it. You just got to stick with it through the rough times.
Yeah. Weird.
What?
Mr. Wright.
You just got to stick with it through the rough times, and then it'll end up getting better.
Did you not tell me it was the best decision I ever made?
I'm just.
I did tell you.
Because be honest with
as far as Mr. Wright and that attitude, absolutely.
Be honest with anybody out there. If you go look at any like civilian type job, we might not get paid as much as these plant workers and shit, but when it comes down to retirement and benefits and shit like that,
can't touch it.
You're not going to beat it. You're not going to beat it.
Anybody that like I've always, whenever we go talk to the schools and stuff, like the older kids, like high school age, one of the things I tell them, if you're not really positive about what you want to do, get a government job. Doesn't really matter what it is. The retirement's better than the alternative of working wherever for how long and not really paying into anything.
It's hard nowadays. Like going back to I don't want to say recruiting, but school days with high schoolers, just they only want to see the dollar sign.
Yeah.
Like
it's just the day and age.
Yeah. It's so hard. We were talking about that at the station the other day, especially like inner city. It's hard to say, hey, come ride a fire truck for $30,000 a year, when you can go to the plant right down the road and start off making 70, 80, whatever.
Right.
And a lot of your jobs,
there's no glory in it anymore. It's not. This is just some glorious job that we deserve praise for, but it's not as cool anymore to run into burning buildings or to get shot at or whatever.
Well,
and the kids nowadays, they're not looking at the retirement. They're looking at, I'm only gonna make $30,000 a year, and I got to deal with this
money
shit
now.
well, it's that y'all are part of it, kind of. Y'all are kind of Gen Z.
We're right on the line.
But it's that you
generation.
want that. Well, no, it's a lot of them want that reward right away. They don't have to work up to it.
Get rich quick.
When I first started doing this shit in '95, when I went full time,
Dude,
I was born
when I was born.
I wasn't.
I made $895 a month before taxes.
Ooh.
Yeah, but cost of living 30 years ago was a hell of a lot.
It was cheaper, but it was still.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Unless
no
you're talking about
discrediting it.
It was barely.
1950, 18,
It was barely above minimum wage.
Yeah, no discredit at all, but it's just inflation.
Oh, well, it's about to get real. We ain't gonna get into that on this one. But yeah, I mean, just you gotta stick with it because it'll do it.
Was I there for that one?
Yeah, you were pumping.
I was
Fuck
making
you guys.
$5.59 an hour back then.
Jesus.
Putting my life on the line doing that carrying a gun. Okay.
So Colin just reminded us of a fire that we had. I remember it vividly because I burnt the shit out of my hand.
This was a very chaotic weekend. We had like 3 house fires in the span of 48 hours. 4, yeah.
How long did it take you to set those?
Not too long if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But
Why you got that look on your face?
Can't tell you our secrets.
Colin ain't smart enough to set a fire and get away with it.
turtles.
Turtles and candles.
Go ahead with your story.
We were in the middle of a class, an extrication class. This was the last fire of the weekend, so we had 3 up to that point, and in the middle of at the end of the class, we're kind of picking everything up.
Fuck you guys!
And they paged out a fire across the district. Well, I've been the poor son of a bitch that was left to pick everything up while everybody else went to go have fun. So this time I said, "Oh, fuck that! I'm getting on the truck."
Yeah, who got fucked?
You and Marcus.
Yeah, we did.
So we hopped on the truck and we're hauling ass, and me and Colin and another guy in the back seat. And with all of our gear back there and everything, I somehow managed to lose my gloves for my bunker gear and grabbed somebody else's. And this somebody else is about 5'5", just a very small human being.
I don't have my Nomex either.
Jesus. So we get there and there's 4 or 5 cars in the driveway and nobody's standing outside. So that's generally indicative of somebody being trapped. We go in and it's completely blacked out and hot as shit, and we're searching around, and something pulled my glove back. Like I said, this glove was barely on my hand anyway, and my hand started burning. Well, just freaking out, I started shaking my hand, like trying to get it to stop like a dumbass, and slung the glove completely off my hand. So I had to put my hand between my legs, bailed over Colin and the other guy, and ran outside to see the fire chief, who was very much stern about that kind of stuff, just looking at me like, what's going on? So I put my hand back under my jacket and went in and found that glove. But Colin has had some very old hand-me-down shit that he was wearing. Go ahead.
Fighting fire in khaki pants, basically. There was nothing. Like, it was just a material on the outside. There was nothing to keep the heat out. And we made entry, and, like, these trailer fires, if they're not ventilated, they get hot real quick. Yeah, and
fighting fire in a metal can.
Yeah, so I get in there, and we're searching and searching, and I finally was like, well, somebody put some fucking water on this fire because I'm burning up. And eventually we got it, and his glove came off, and we put the fire out. And well, that same day is whenever Chief walked up to me, and I got new gear the next day, or ordered.
So for the gear that we have, it has a 10-year shelf life. And that's 10 years whether it stays on the shelf or whether you're using it the entire time. His gear was probably 15, 20 years old.
The new gear?
No,
the old
gear.
stuff.
The old stuff.
Yeah.
This shit was awful.
It was terrible.
It was like wearing a thick pair of khaki pants.
It was.
We had that big warehouse fire, and you had that shit on too.
Yeah.
Hey, that's whenever State had old boy at fucking gunpoint.
So we had a really big warehouse fire right off the interstate, and I think that in all there was 14 different departments there.
Yeah, we were mutual aid to it. So.
Yeah.
So that was like a 14 alarm fire?
I have no idea. I don't know what to call
a
it.
shit ton of people there.
A lot.
I thought it was an alarm every time you had to call an extra house.
It
out.
depends on
It's
the
department.
agency.
From department.
But so this fire, I think it burned up probably 10 of those warehouse bays. And they had a bunch of totes, big plastic totes that had gas, diesel, oil. So it was shitting and getting motor home.
The boss of the company.
The culprit of the whole fire.
Yeah.
He parked his mobile home inside this warehouse as well.
And,
With a propane tank inside of it?
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Yeah,
I mean, that and a shitload of other stuff that was highly flammable.
So the plume of smoke you could see from the next city over.
Everywhere.
And so there's, like I said, there's 14 departments all in all, and somebody took a video of it driving down the interstate because the warehouse. I mean, you can see it from the interstate.
You're not even 100 yards from the interstate from this clearing.
In the video, they're passing, and in front of the fucking warehouse, there's state police, multiple units, and you see one of the guys behind his door with his gun drawn on somebody, and then the next car you see is this dude standing at his car like, what the fuck, with his hands up.
And it's all in the background,
you
just
see
all of us fighting fire and shit.
I still have that video.
That's where I just seen it was on his phone.
Don't mind us.
That was a shit kicker of a day.
Did you make that one he just pointed out to? Or
No, Dragon. He didn't make that one. He the dirt track.
Yeah, I did.
Were you there?
Yeah, when we were.
That's right. Yeah.
we went to Pike, didn't we?
Yeah, we were at Pike.
We were at the Pike County Raceway, the little dirt track up there in Mississippi, and we were there from probably 6 to damn near midnight. I guess.
Yeah, they don't start those races until probably about 11 o'clock.
I know. I think we've babysit one.
Hell yeah. You probably fucking babysitting that night.
Probably babysitting that night.
But while we were there, and keep in mind, we're an hour and a half from home, and we all carpooled, so we had to go back to one person's house to get everybody's vehicle. Well, while we're there, our phones start going off for every truck in the district going to this house fire, and we know the area. We call it Gypsy Village. It's just this ratty-ass area of this one road, bunch of trailers, bunch of junk out from. All of them are hoarder houses. And we're thinking, like, man, what is going on? Well, so that probably went out at maybe around
Probably,
10,
yeah,
11.
I think it was before that.
It was probably 9:30, 10
I'd
o'clock.
say, yeah. About
It
9:30.
was right whenever the heat races
The heat races
started.
were starting.
So we finished watching the race and everything. We're an hour and a half away. We're not going.
I mean, it's like almost 1 o'clock now, so we're thinking, everything's done.
Yeah.
They're, but
So we're on the way back, and somebody turned on the radio or the phone started buzzing. They were calling for more manpower. We're like, holy shit, they've been at this fire for hours. It's just a trailer. Like, what could they possibly need? So all three of us were like, well, fuck it, let's go.
There was the fourth too, but
Yeah, there was a fourth. And we showed up, and there's still plenty of active fire. Just all the shit. I have pictures of it. Imagine fighting a fire in a junkyard with a trailer in the middle of it.
yeah.
And there's one path to get to the house, and if you know anything about pulling fire hose, it's hard enough as it is, much less through a jungle of trash and shit. And yeah, that was. I think
That was an all-nighter.
We were still there for another 2 or 3 hours after
we
got
had to
there.
leave because we had full time.
Yeah, that's right. We sure did have to go to full time that morning.
I got to full time and I passed out.
I was tired.
Oh, fuck. Florida LSU 2019. The year that LSU won the championship. We go to the game. Our friends are in from out of town. Cade was having a great night.
Fortnite family reunion.
Fortnite family reunion.
Fortnite
We met
sucks.
these guys playing Xbox, and they ended up coming to Baton Rouge to come up there and see us, to come watch the game when Florida played.
Colon. Did I say it? I said it earlier.
Yeah.
My bad. Fuck. Colin was having a great night. We were all drinking, having fun, watching the game. LSU whooped Florida's ass. Nonetheless, we forget we have work the next morning, and
It's like 2 o'clock.
yeah, we get home. It's 2:00. We have to be on paper. We have to be there for 7. Most of us get there about 6:30 to make relief. Well, I think we left a little early because we knew we were going to be sluggish that morning. Colin goes into the station. I have a routine, as I'm sure everybody sitting at this table does. Get to work, you shit, you shave. Most of the time, you shower before you leave your house or whatever.
And might I add, this was during my probationary period.
Yeah. So we have a really, really good relationship with our district chief, and so much so that Colin tells him to go fuck off all the time to his face. But our district chief creates a text message with me and Colin in it and says, what was his...
It was something with the game or something like that, or
Something about having a late night and being
late night.
hungover.
Yeah.
Well, Colin decides to text back.
Not knowing.
He decides to text me and Mr. Wright, so he thinks. He texts me and the district chief. And what was that text message?
Something along the lines of, it's not even 7 a.m. and he's annoying the fuck out of me.
And doesn't realize it.
And at this point, I send this text message. I'm like, I had a screaming headache, and I'm all over the place trying to get all my shit inside the station and get, I still got to shower, shave, do everything in the mornings, and
Sober up.
yeah. So I go back to my truck for something, and after I send this text message, and I'm walking back into the station, and district chief, he opens the door, and he says, "Oh, just you wait. It's not even 7 a.m., you're right, and the fucking with you has just begun."
You're like, what's he
And
talking
I'm
about?
just kind of like, in like, I'm dazed. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just shut up. Like, leave me alone. It's not even 7 a.m. So, Fluffy, he calls me, and again, I'm just aggravated. I'm trying to get all this shit together, and Fluffy starts like, "Do you realize what you did?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You texted me and him, not me and Mr. Wright." I'm like, "Oh, fuck. This is my probationary period. Like, this dude could have been..."
Still very new.
He still could have, the big chief could have walked
told-
in and said, "You're fired."
Yeah, there was nothing I could have done. Like, I
No
could have...
civil service protection.
Yeah. And, so yeah, I'm very thankful to have a good working relationship with that district chief.
Fluffy, you remember the time you came in middle of the night, absolutely slammed?
Oh yeah.
We have a friend that's that was working the station one night, and he would
I
tell
got
it better than
shit
us,
faced. We went to a local restaurant in our coverage area. Me, the same district chief that Colin likes to cuss out frequently, and a
It's
couple
mutual.
other. It is a couple other firefighters. We all went to this restaurant. It was eating and drinking, and we decided, hey, let's go to Rouse's and let's grab some whiskey and go swimming. We went swimming. Fluffy got really fucked up. Knew I couldn't drive, so another firefighter decided to drop me off to sleep at the station because I have to be at work the next morning. Keep in mind, it's like 3:30 at this point. So I find out the next morning. I walk in the station, walk into the bunk room. I go to my locker to get my bedding out to make my bed to go to sleep.
Somebody's probably sleeping in it.
Oh, no, he wasn't sleeping in it, but he was sleeping in the bed next to mine. And supposedly, I thought I was being fucking quiet because in my mind, I was quiet. He said I wasn't, but he said I walked into the bunk room, slammed the door. I went to my locker. I opened my locker and just started giggling. If you don't know me, which you don't, when I'm drunk, I laugh at every fucking thing. Everything.
And it's this cute little schoolgirl laugh. It's adorable.
I don't even know what the nickname will. Long dick. We'll call him
Yeah.
Schlong. We'll call him Schlong.
Schlongus is what I call it.
Schlong. Schlong wakes up. I didn't know this. It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm fucking drunk. And is watching me try to get my bedding out of my locker.
It's a very simple, just, easy motion.
Like a fucking high school locker, just a lot bigger. And I start laughing, and I apparently tell myself to shh in the middle of me laughing and tell myself to be quiet. I take my bedding. I half-ass roll it out. Like, I don't remember rolling it out, so I think I just kind of throw it on the bed and used it as a pillow. Yeah, I passed the fuck out. And then
The next morning was a great morning.
the next morning,
Great first call.
it was fucking, I think I woke up about 9:30. I had to step up, or a relief captain, whatever the hell you want to call it, who was super cool. He got a text message from one of the guys that I was out with the night before, but hey, Fluffy had a rough night. You should probably let him sleep in. If not, it's okay. Well, I finally get up, and I'm like, hey, Cap, I need to go to another station. I left my toiletry bag. He's like, all right, that's no problem. Like, can you drive? I said, no. So I decide to ride captain, and he's going to drive for us. And on the way back from the other station, we're going to our home station. We get paged to a cardiac arrest, possible overdose. I'm like, fuck, I have a headache. I'm still hungover. I'm still fucking drunk at this point. And it's literally around the corner from where we're at. So we have an on-scene time of like 30 seconds. And we get there, the captain on the truck goes to the patient, realizes, like, all right, this is a cardiac arrest in the passenger seat. Somebody's doing CPR. We're going to get him out of the car. We get him out of the car. We lay him on the ground. We feel for a pulse. He has one. So we know it's an overdose, or we don't know, but we suspect an overdose. Do our patient care. My DC arrives on scene. And
Wonderful DC.
Wonderful DC. I was assigned to bag the patient who was not breathing. And I'm knelt down above the patient at his head while my captain is doing other shit, and I'm bagging. My DC walks up to me and sees me swaying as I'm bagging the patient. Swaying because I'm just on my 2 feet, like, knelt down, bagging him. And he's like, hey, taps me on the shoulder. I got this. Go get your ass back in the fucking truck. So I ran an overdose drunk as a firefighter. That was always fun.
Speaking of schlongus, I can tell the story about the cat in the chimney and his colorblind ass. So
Colorblind firefighter.
yeah,
I don't know how it works.
Don't
so
ever
we've
ask
had
him to clean blood up.
yeah we've had multiple incidents where somebody that is colorblind that isn't the best, to do a particular job that requires being
Seeing
able to see
color.
He won't tell you that and just kind of half-ass the job. It'd be kind of like sending a bomb tech to, cut the red wire and he can't see fucking red. Well, we had a cat in a chimney one night, and it had gotten between like the actual metal chimney and then the sheetrock that was framed up in the house. And the only way to get to it was this little open area in the attic. Well, we had rigged up a noose pretty much out of webbing, kind of like rope. And
Jerk's gonna hang the cat.
pretty much. And so I forget which one was the lead the noose around its neck and which one was the pull it tight color, but one was red, one was yellow. And I handed the colorblind guy the webbing and said, okay, whenever I tell you to, pull this one. Well, I got the noose around the cat's neck, and somehow in the conundrum of trying to get it around its neck, because it's like 20 foot down from where we were at, he had mixed up the colors, and I couldn't remember which color it was supposed to be. And so it was, I got it around, and I was like, all right, pull. And he kind of tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, I can't remember which one it was supposed to be, and I can't tell colors. It's like, fuck, I think it was the red one. So he pulls the red one, and it comes undone. Like the whole fucking knot. Like, okay, obviously that wasn't right. So we pulled it back up, retied it, and at this point the cat's like, fuck you, I know what you're trying to do. So we finally get it around its neck. And we get the colors right and everything, and we pull the cat up. Well, this cat's hanging there. You know how cats are. It's like a cat being in water. This thing is going fucking crazy, and we can't get it out of this little hole because the cat's too big. Square block, round hole type deal. And he runs down to go from the attic, runs to the truck to go grab a tool to pry up some of the lumber that was framing up the house so we could get this cat out. And by this time, it had been probably 30, 45 seconds, and the cat went from fighting really, really, really bad to not fighting a whole lot because, it was dying.
Because you were choking it?
So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to drop the cat because I don't want to kill it. It'd be really shitty for somebody to call me to come rescue their cat and me hand them a dead cat.
I got it.
And,
Here you go.
So I drop it, and this after that, the cat was like, "I'm not coming out for where y'all can see me again and get that thing around my neck." So we decided, all right, well, how partial is the family to this wall right here above the fucking fireplace?
That's what I was about to say. Take a wall out.
So we ended up taking the wall out and still didn't get the cat. So we fucked up their attic, we fucked up their cat, we fucked up their wall. Yeah.
I ended up running the call with Jerry at that house again. They sold it.
Did they?
Yeah. And
Did they fix the fucking wall?
well, so the reason we were there was for a heart attack. And Jerry's like, this dude's legitimately having a heart attack. Very well shaped, super sweaty, diaphoretic, chest pains, fucking 9 out of 10. Everything shows heart attack. And he's just sitting there. Yeah, we've been in this house before. We put a hole right there. Yeah, that patch. Yeah, that was from us. And I'm like, bro, he's having a heart attack.
I don't think
I
he
don't
cares.
give a fuck about this story about a cat in this fucking chimney. Oh, he was the patient was pretty pissed at Jerry that day.
You need to get Jerry on here to tell the stories about the colorblind guy. That dude's very funny, and he stutters. So it's really funny.
Lord. All right, everybody. We're at that time, and we keep getting door peeks. We don't want to get in trouble. So we're going to appreciate the Goon Squad over here. It's fun.
Hey.
They'll probably have to come back once they get some more story. And remember to go like and subscribe. Subscribe. We get that right. Hit the bells, the whistles. Leave a review. I will shout it out. And go check out the Etsy store. Join the clubhouse. Remember to watch your back, watch your partner's back. And remember to smile, because Iceman could always be behind you.